Hey everyone, welcome back to another exciting episode of Attack Productions. Today I bank up once again by Jake, Nick, and like always, Fluff.
What's going on, y'all?
Howdy, howdy.
What's going on, beautiful people?
And today's matchup is Nick versus Fluff. Nick has brought us AOD, and Fluff is, you've talked about playing this deck, you never did, so you decided to bring it out. That is U7 Goku. Like always, buttons down below, but let's get into today's matchup.
No disrespect to anyone at the shop who plays Universe 7, but I feel like a lot of the builds that are present around the shop are just built wrong. I feel like Nick's is the best.
Oh, never mind.
Right. I told you this after we played. I feel like you're the only one that has the list built remotely correctly. So I was interested to see it played my way. And I was actually really pleasantly surprised. The deck is way more consistent than I thought it would be at 60 cards.
Yeah, and I didn't have anything built, so I just brought back a deck I played a couple weeks ago. I played Red Yellow Baby last week, and it didn't perform as well as I wanted it to, so I thought this was the only other deck I had, so I was like, well, might as well just turn cardboard sideways.
It's a plan. I wasn't sure how this match was going to go because I hadn't tested U7 versus AOD, so I wasn't sure which way it was going to swing. And I think it really depends on what cards I'm able to see versus your board.
Yeah, because I'm going to get Bobbity out turn one, or I'm going to try to, which I did. But I'm going to try to spam the board as fast as I can. And essentially, as the U7 player, I would assume you were thinking, can I remove it as fast as I can board?
Yeah. That's definitely one of the things that is going on in my brain. I will say, as kind of a preface to this match, and I don't think it changes much because I had a really commanding hand size over AOD through most of it, so it doesn't really matter. But on the auto here, or on the activate main on the lead, you're supposed to discard one. I end up not discarding. I end up forgetting about that. But I do end up comboing hard on early attacks when I wouldn't normally have done so.
Yeah, and I don't know if you saw there a little earlier when I activated the extra card for AOD. I took a life, but I had to put it back because with that extra card, you have to actually draw a card in order to take a life, and I whiffed, so I had to put the life back. Which that sucked because normally the AOD package, the AOD decks run anywhere between 10 to 12 non-AOD cards, so not seeing one kind of hurt.
My favorite
Just
thing
not
is,
hitting the target there is terrible.
My favorite thing to do is when you swing with lead on Awaken or Turtles, and you get those 5 random extra cards.
Oh yeah,
just all in a row.
Or like you see an Overwhelm, you see like Petrification or the Secret Rare. Like you just see things like this. I can't grab, or in my case, a Sensu Beam, which I think you play as well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I've had before where I've whiffed on a lead or something, and I'm like, how is this possible? There's like 8, maybe 10 cards that aren't AOD.
Yeah. And what you just saw, Fluff was reading, was the Android 13 counterplay for the AOD deck. That card's going to be kind of like not a red herring, but like a mini Cold War the entire game. Because the counterplay will hit a battle card with energy cost of 3 or less. So Fluff and I talked about at the end, like we were both like holding our cards to see if he would play the Double Strike Android 17, which I thought was hilarious.
I was like, one of the ways that he's gonna anticipate me playing that Android 17. So he's gonna pass with an open energy every turn for that Android 13, and he'll either burn that energy on a garlic, at which point I'll tap for the Android 17, or I'll just never cast the Android 17, and he'll essentially have wasted an energy every turn. And that was kind of my philosophy throughout this match.
Yeah, but at the same time, like keeping the 1 energy up also keeps you in check because you have to sequence your plays correctly and see if, now that you know that I have the card in hand, are you going to take the gamble playing that card?
Yeah, and you'll see that turn I also forgot to discard, but I do end up comboing extra on this attack when I wouldn't have had to combo extra if I was discarding Universe 7 targets. So
what a shooter.
yeah, makes a huge difference. It doesn't.
Yeah.
Yes, it doesn't make a huge difference.
Do you ever catch that?
Yeah.
During the night?
Yes, I caught it in round 3.
Bless you.
Oh, I was gonna edit that out. Thanks.
Yeah. I caught it in round 3.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and in this case, one of my biggest draw pieces is going to be Fearless, which is honestly one of the big vulnerable pieces of the deck, especially once you're awakened, because the leader doesn't have any inherent draw. And as you can see later in the game, like Fluff starts to pressure a little bit more, which we'll bring up here once we get there. But the Turles is your main draw engine because it just searches out the top 5 for any AOD card, which is huge. And it does have barriers, so it has a little bit of protection. But in a matchup like this, where you're running the Vegeta that can neg minus 15 ignoring barrier, and then you have the Kaioken Goku, which can snipe anything, like it's kind of tough. Like my protection's not really that sticky in the matchup.
Yeah, my goal is to either make you waste resources getting rid of trying to get rid of your Turles, because your Turles is essentially your once per turn draw on your lead once you've awakened.
Yeah, which I need.
Yeah, which you do absolutely need. And this would have been a good point. If you hadn't Sensu Bean, would have been a good point for me to commit to an Android 17. But since you still have the 1 energy open, I don't want you to get any advantage off that Android 13.
Yeah, it's we were talking about like the arms race aspect of it before, and even though you can kind of leverage that 17 play to like make him waste a little bit of energy or do things less efficiently, at the end of the day, you still don't really safely have access to it.
Yeah. Like, not at all. So here I decided you've already invested in protecting that Turles, so I'll just go ahead and commit a Vegeta. One thing that sucks on my mills was I think I milled 2 Vegetas. So I'm not going to see very many Vegetas across the face of this match.
Getting to hit that 1 drop was huge, though.
Yeah. I believe that, Nick, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe you have a Hatchiyak in hand, so you're going to be able to just recover anyway.
I do, because I charged 2 Bobbities.
I'm gonna say,
Bring it back.
when you charge the first when you charge your first Bobbity, that kind of lets your opponent know that you have a backup plan already set up, so it's okay to lose it. It does waste, unfortunately, energy to do that, but now here's a question. Oh, you can awaken. Never mind. I was like, why'd you tap both blues? You know, when you have access to like Sensu Bean, but you can't awaken this turn, which would give you your blue energy back.
Yeah. And Sensu Bean like is very important the more I play AOD, just for that fact. Especially like if your opponent does have an out to Bobbity, just because that turns off a lot of your plays, your energy economy. So having access to Bean really helps fix your stuff, so you can at least play inefficiently, but still play.
Yeah. And having to force the AOD player to tap energy to replace the Bobbity and replay the Turles feels really good, because that's 2 energy that otherwise would have just been aggro or pressure on the field. So the Awaken turn 3 for AOD is typically a huge pressure turn. And I feel a lot of that pressure lifted because you had to spend those 2 earlier energy.
Yeah, which was the right play. Being able to make me waste my energy it's one of the keys to countering AOD.
Oh, choosing to crit a life here.
Mm-hmm.
So I ask you, what was Nick's hand size at this time? Do you remember?
Extremely low. Like, Nick is on like 3 or 4 cards.
Yeah, I know it wasn't big, and with all my swings on Fluff, but I was just doing regular damage. So he had a quite a big hand size.
Yeah. So I know if I play this correctly, he's not going to be able to put a ton of pressure on me. He's at 3 life, so I'm like, okay, I can go down to 3 life. He's either going to swing with the Janemba and pressure on me, which I have plenty of combo power to get out of, or he's going to save the Janemba to block me, which I am also okay with.
I mean, you could technically... Is it the freeze at negs 20?
Frieza negs 15 on 1. Goku removes 15 on 1. Vegeta removes 15 on 2, ignoring barrier. And then Consecrated Kaioken KOs all with 15,000 or less, I believe. If you play him out, or you can snipe him for 2 energy.
So a lot of options for removal on that blocker.
Yeah, tons. And here, he left 2 energy open, so I'm anticipating another Garlic, and I'm anticipating that he's keeping open that Android 13 there for his Android 13. So, again, I'm going to play around that card. So I have the option of boarding a Unison here if I want to, which you just saw. I just milled 2, which is terrible. I don't think I cast a Unison the entire night.
And
which
the right
makes me
matchup,
almost...
really need it.
Yeah, which makes me feel like, do I even need the Unisons in the list?
They come in clutch in the right time, though. I usually, when I play U7, I usually wait. I usually hold my Awakened turn to cast the Unison, just so I have that extra energy for any type of defensive plays.
Yeah. Here, I'm going to pressure that Turles. I'm going to force him to burn the cards in his hand. Or burn other plays. So I'm just going to pressure that Turles as much as possible. He does. I do put the crit into the lead, but he saves the Garlic for that, which I was kind of expecting, but it still sucked not getting that crit into lead.
Yeah, I don't want to take a crit swing. Preferably not. But now my board's pretty set up for you to just wipe it away if you wanted to.
Yeah, I have to sequence correctly in this turn to make sure I get the most value out of this. So I do decide to go on ahead and just play out the Kaioken Goku there and blow everything out.
And here I do petrify the dual attacker just to get 1 extra swing off of it. And at this point in the game, I'm realizing like if I can't win by next turn, like there's no turn for me to win today, no matter what he plays. So it was the safest thing to do to limit the attacks.
Nick's hand was so low at this point, I felt safe tapping out. The worst thing that happens is he taps 4 for a Unison and blows my field out.
Actually, with AOD, it's only 3.
Oh, yeah, tapping 3. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't remember what Unison spread Nick plays, though, in his.
I run a 2-2 split of the Majin Vegeta and the
Babidi.
I like the option. I like the option.
Yeah.
I don't know, I absolutely love the Babidi one. But I've recently took it out of my list and just went more of the pure aggro build. I don't play the Janemba combo, but just double strike crit's always good. It blows the field up.
Yeah, well, the double strike crits, that Vegeta is only really good if you have a card to discard to get the board wipe effect.
That is true.
Which at this point, my hand, like, I didn't even charge this turn just because my hand was so low.
You did charge.
You charged the Android 13. Yeah. You were like, this isn't doing a lot of good in this match, and you charged it, which I felt like was a bait. With another one in hand.
It was absolutely honest. So yeah, I go into the Vegeta, and then you start to remove the cards, but I think I only had like 2 cards in hand, so I decided not to do the drop. Because I think one of them was a super combo, and then one was just a. I can't even remember the other one. But I was like, if I can't hit him this, I mean, it's at the end of the game anyway. So figured might as well just push, see what I can do, and then just let him kill me. That was my other card, the overrun. Yeah.
So I did crit myself down, or I took myself down to 1.
Close.
Yeah. Very close.
If that other card was a free play card, I know Fluff has the hand where he could have protected himself from it. Because Bobby could have just free played a 3 or less AOD card with the 1-drop on the board. But if I recall correctly, after this conversation, do you have one other negate in your hand that you've...
He had like 5 other negates in hand.
I had King Vegeta's Imposing Presence in hand, and I've never used the card before, and I thought in my head canon that card required you to crack a life in order to use it. So I was like, man, I've got those in hand and I just can't use them. Here, I just played the secret rare after he went to 2. He has 1 card in hand, which I think was a super combo.
And
they're not.
I was like, just cast the secret rare and win. That's all you gotta do.
Yeah.
So if that
was it.
Yep. So with that being said, thank you all for tuning in today's matchup. Keep minding buttons down below and on the screen while Fluff does the outro.
Good game, Nick. I learned a lot about the U7 deck through that match, which I think helped a lot in my next round's match. So thank you for that. Read your cards, know your plays, let us make the mistakes so that you don't have to, and as always, Fluff out.